Hello, Jess here at Sister Sue's Crochet. Welcome back to my video. This is video number 6 in my pre-beginner crochet tutorial series. And in this video, we're going to learn how to make a single crochet. So in the last video, I was teaching you how to make your starting chain. So we kind of did a little exercise where I had told you that you should practice doing 20 chains and, excuse me, pulling that out, and then, you know, keep trying and practicing on those chains and get them to be around the same size to where they look uniform. And when you feel comfortable with that, then hopefully you are now watching this video, which is the video number 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to make a single crochet stitch. And I also want to teach you a couple basic things that you're going to do every time that you do a single crochet. So we have our chain, our starting chain here, which is actually 20 chains. I went through and I counted to make sure that there was 20. And so we've got our left hand here laced up with our yarn. Our right hand is holding our hook, and we have one loop that is here on the hook. So when you make your starting chain and you go to start your single crochets, you're always going to go into the second loop from your hook, the second stitch from your hook. So this one that's on the hook here, this does not count as your first stitch. The one next to it is your first chain. So you can see here, this, I'm trying to get it a little closer. This is our very first chain, and then this is our second chain from the hook. So we've got 1, 2. So I like to keep my thumb there so I can kind of show myself where I need to go in. So we're going to take your hook and you're going to go into that second stitch. And just want to show you here, when you go into that stitch, you're basically going under that V. So the V that you count, you want to make sure that you're under both of those strands of yarn, because if you only go into the front loop or the back loop, you're going to end up not making the stitch correctly. So you just want to make sure that you're going underneath both of those strands. So we're going to go in underneath that V, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So now you should have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again and pull through both of those loops. So let's try that again. This time we're going to go in to the very next chain, which is right here. So you go in under the V, you're going to yarn over, come back out, 2 loops on your hook there, yarn over again, pull through both loops. Again, right into that next stitch, go in, yarn over, pull a loop up, 2 loops on your hook there, yarn over again, pull through both loops. So you're going to continue doing this until you get down to your very last stitch. The slip knot does not count as a stitch. So you're going to go to your very last stitch in your starting chain here, and then meet me back here. Okay, so here we are. I have crocheted, I've done the single crochet all the way down the row to my very last stitch. So now I want to count my stitches, and I want to make sure that we've got the right amount of stitches here. We did a chain 20, and then we skipped 1 stitch and went into that second chain from the hook. So we should have 19 stitches here. So count your V's. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, sorry about that. I actually had to pause because I had made a mistake and I only had 17 stitches here when I should have had 18 because I haven't done my last one yet. So there should be 19 total in your first row. So now I pulled out what I had, and I had to go back through and fix it. So this is just proof that you really do need to count your stitches after each row, because even the most experienced crocheter can make a mistake and skip a stitch. So that's what I had done. I actually skipped one of my chains and was missing a stitch. So now we have the right number. I've got 18 stitches here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this last single crochet, last stitch here to make my single crochet. So you go in under the V, come back out, yarn over and pull through both. Now what you're going to do is, this is going to be the same for every single row and every single project that you ever make out of single crochet, unless your pattern specifies otherwise. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a chain 1. So you chain just like how we did in the beginning, and then you're going to turn your work. So you're basically turning it backwards so that way you can work back across for your second row. So the chain is just basically there to make your sides even. It kind of just, it doesn't count as a stitch here with single crochet. It's just there, it's just your turning chain. So that way that when you turn around, you can work right back into that first stitch again. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go right back into that very first V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both of those loops. Now working into your next stitch, go underneath that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. And I want you to work your single crochet in each stitch across. And when you get down to your second to the last stitch, I want you to meet me back here again, and I'll show you how to do your third row. Okay, so here we are. I've completed all of my single crochets in the second row up till the last one. And now what we want to do is we want to count our stitches and make sure we've got the right amount here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we've got one more left, so that should work out perfect. That'll be our 19 stitches in our row. So I'm going to do that last single crochet. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we did last time. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work. And then when you begin the next row, you're going to go right into this very first V. You don't want to work into your chain stitch that you did when you were turning, because then you'll have an extra single crochet in each row. You want to go right back into that very first V. So you just keep repeating the same thing. You go all the way down to the end of your row. Make sure that you're counting your stitches, because there is the chain stitch at the end, and sometimes you can get a little confused and think that that is actually a stitch that you need to crochet in, but it's not. So that's why it's so important to count your stitches and make sure you've got the right number of stitches in your row. So if you want to continue doing this, you could actually make this into a pretty decent scarf. It's a good size if you wanted to make a scarf, or maybe you just want to make like a little washcloth or something like that, little pot holder. So go ahead and keep practicing on your single crochet stitches. And if you want to just practice and then pull out what you did and start over again like you did with the chains, that might be a good idea, just to make sure that you've got the stitch down, how to actually make the stitch. And so in our next video, I'm going to show you how to do a double crochet. So hopefully you've learned how to do your single crochet, and go ahead and practice that, and join me in my next video as we go on to double crochet. Any questions, comments, please leave them below. And also, if you want to look me up on Facebook, it's facebook.com/sistersuz, SISTERSUZ. And that is my crochet page on Facebook. It's called Sister Sue's Crochet. So we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.